Today, students have resumed protesting before the Prime Ministry, leaving auditoriums empty and stating that they will not give up until their demands are met. The High Council of Prosecution has decided on its first meeting that the Special Prosecution, SPAK, will start the investigation of senior officials with 15 prosecutors. Minister Gjiknuri inspected today the construction being carried out along the Tirana-Durrës highway, which will prevent flooding along the axis. Good evening. It is Monday, the 7th of January 2019. Welcome back to the English edition of Aura News. My name is Oliver, and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from around the country translated into English. As the holidays have come to an end, students have returned to the streets to continue protesting this morning. They have not accepted any resolution of conflict proffered by the Prime Minister, Edi Rama, as the vote, they say, must be held in Parliament and contingent upon the decision of the Council of Ministers. In today's protest, they have invited all citizens who want to raise their voice for their rights. The students have come up with their own university PAK created alongside the government and approved by Edi Rama. They have sent the documents known as Pact for University to the Parliament, Prime Minister Edi Rama, the Ministry of Education, and to public universities. Concerning the first request on fees, where the government proposes their own scaled payment plan for the bachelor's program, students demand that the scaling scheme be applied also for the master's program. They seek a long-term plan from the government aimed at increasing the budget. Addressing the governmental Pact for University, students call it a facade as they release a warning for the Prime Minister. This is the last call from students. Today, Edi Rama will see our true faces because so far he has mocked us all along the way. Enough with these tentative pedagogues and rectors. He has put in place, he cannot buy us. The police arrived on scene in the morning and prevented us from calling other students for a boycott. Students have felt pressured by university deans and political party members, mostly from Fresh, but it will not succeed. Although our cause can be political, it is not with any political party, exclaimed a student. The protests will not have a deadline, and students claim it will end at a time when they reach an acceptable solution. But they have not ruled out any possibility for escalation. Students of the University of Korça took part in today's protests and boycotted the first day of university after the holiday break. The students of Elbasan, on the other hand, were divided. Some took part in the protests, while some attended their lessons. Korça students returned on the scene to protest for better and cheaper education. However, below-zero temperatures prevailed in the southeastern city, causing low involvement, but many have joined in the boycott of the lessons altogether. We will continue with the boycott of instruction due to the poor weather conditions. We have thought of various forms of protests that we will communicate in the coming days, said one student. Meanwhile, students in Elbasan have taken a different approach. The protest will continue, and we also will have other requests that we would like to discuss today. The meeting with the rector, however, has been postponed until tomorrow, said a student from the University of Elbasan. Some of the students of the University of Durrës and Shkodra joined the protest in Tirana, while others continued boycotting outside the auditorium. In Vlorë and Gjirokastër, the lessons continued, but students say they will return to the protests soon. Special Prosecution, or SPAK as it is called, which will deal with the investigation of senior officials, will be comprised of 15 prosecutors. The decision was made today at the first meeting of the High Council of Prosecution and opens up the competition for SPAK candidates. The meeting was headed by the chair of the High Council of Prosecution, Gent Ibrahimi, where members held a discussion on applicants having 1 month to submit their forms to the institution. All participants in this competition must have a 10-year career and have no kind of disciplinary history. Also, as part of the race, it may include prosecutors who did not pass vetting. In this case, after the candidacy, they will undergo an accelerated vetting process. In today's meeting, the High Council of Prosecution appointed 6 magistrates who have all completed their magistrate school and have been waiting to exercise their duties for several months. The Council called on these magistrates to voluntarily work for the High Council of Prosecution until they receive the nomination. The criteria provided within the law states that a prosecutor of SPAK should have 10 years of on-the-job experience and shall not be assigned to duty without meeting the prerequisites of security and professional skill requirements. The High Council of Prosecution, prior to making appointments, administrates over reviews and performs the evaluation of documentation among each candidate submitted by the Special Verification Commission of Property and Financial Inquiries of Candidates. A candidate who receives a negative assessment from a Special Verification Commission of Property and Financial Inquiries of Candidates cannot be appointed as a prosecutor to the Special Prosecution. The decision of the High Council of the Prosecutor's Office is decisive. Prosecutors are appointed to duty by the High Council of Prosecution if they have a 9-year mandate. The mandate is suspended or terminated only if the High Inspectorate of Justice requires disciplinary proceedings against the prosecutor. Three days after the launch of construction projects in the Tirana-Chaf-Kashar segment, the Minister of Infrastructure and Energy, Damian Gjiknuri, evaluated the work on the construction of 2 manholes that will presumably solve the flood problem. According to the Minister of Infrastructure and Energy, this intervention solves the constant flood problem due to heavy rainfall. With this investment, we can finally fix the problem that citizens have encountered not only last year, but also over a number of years prior. The investment is part of the larger road rehabilitation program. Last year, the road rehabilitation program set off in motion, and it was possible to invest over 25 million euros, said Gjiknuri. In the segment near the Kashar overpass, 2 large manholes will be located, which together with the cleaning of canals will prevent a significant amount of rainfall from creating flooding conditions along the highway. The value of the investment being carried out along this axis amounts to 342,000 euros without VAT. The Ismail Chamali High School in Tirana opened its doors this year, offering updated standards thanks to the renovation of student classrooms, the gym, and the outdoor sports field. The head of the municipality of Tirana, Ariane Valiai, accompanied by the deputy of the Socialist Party, Vasilika Husi, came to take a look at the investment made in this gymnasium where the central heating system was installed. I am very happy that the day has finally come, that the Ismail Chamali High School will see a period of renovation from the very beginning of 2019, just like a phoenix for this new year. All the students who, with great understanding, have remained in other schools will now have a fantastic renovated environment, starting with the fields. It is one of the only schools that has a tennis court, volleyball court, basketball court, soccer field, gym, a power room, and all LED lighting throughout, said Ariane Valiai. Valiai said that this year he will lay the groundwork for the construction of 17 new schools, which will help curb the overpopulation in high schools. One of the reasons why we have overpopulation in the school is mainly due to quality, but the opening of 17 new schools will, in effect, lower this pressure. I am also happy that Ismail Chamali High School, within this year, will be able to improve student relationships with the teachers, remain affordable, all while not overloading classes. The opening of the new school will require collaboration with parents so that children can register where they have the nearest school, said Valiai. The mayor praised the initiative of Prime Minister Edi Rama to help excelling students and to encourage more students to come up with higher scores. And that's the news from across the country today. Thank you for joining Aura News. My name is Oliver. I will be here every night at 6 o'clock, Monday through Saturday. Until next time, thank you and have a good night.